Why is it that 80% of people give up on their goals after just a few weeks in January? It's because they didn't apply the 7 habits I'm about to share with you on today's video that are gonna change your life forever. Habit number 1 is what we call one touch. We human beings are like a battery and like a computer. Similar to how a computer has memory and processing power, well, if you've got millions of tabs opened up on your computer here, it starts to slow down the processing power of your computer. Well, the same is true for you and your brain. Is the more things you have going on, the more it's draining your battery, the more it's taking up your processing power, and ultimately the more it's stressing you out and overwhelming you, quite honestly. So how the one touch rule will help you with this is it helps you close out your tasks way faster. So essentially, any task that'll take less than 2 minutes for you to do, you wanna do it now. You wanna just get it done, check it off your box, right? For instance, let's just say you have a few dishes in your sink, and you know it'll only take a minute or two to do. If you do them right away, you're out ahead of it, and you avoid the dishes piling up in the sink over the course of the day. I have 4 kids, so our dishes pile up faster than you can imagine. Same with our laundry. We have about 6 to 8 loads of laundry we do every single week. So if I don't do this approach, I am drowning by the end of the week. So this approach serves me amazingly well, and I know it's gonna do the same for you. It'll help free up your mental real estate so that you can focus on what's super important in your day. Habit number 2 is focus. In our day and age, we are the most distracted we've ever been. In fact, over half the world's population is on social media for 2 hours and 23 minutes on average a day. Do you realize the amount of distraction and interruption that is causing in your life every day? Over 2 hours spent on social media where you're being inundated by ads and other people's posts, and you're essentially watching a movie and a half worth of other people's lives with their agenda and their thoughts and how they feel and what's going on in their life. You're basically being influenced and distracted and interrupted by the outside world. Whereas you should be controlling your attention, energy, and focus so that you can create what it is that you desire in your world. So it is a life-changing idea if you can start to control this faculty that you have, which is your attention and focus. Minimize your distractions throughout the day. Understand that the world has its own agenda, but it doesn't have to affect your agenda. So practice closing out all the tabs in your browser and focusing your attention on what really matters in your own life. Habit number 3 is stay present. So many people spend time thinking about their past and their future way more than they're being present. And what that does is it causes overwhelm or negativity in their life, especially if you've been through negative things in your past. For instance, if your past hasn't been sunshine and rainbows, and you're carrying a lot of resentments with you for whatever's happened to you, then you're unconsciously resenting in the present moment. In other words, it's taking up your battery and memory and processing power in the present moment and wasting it on resentments that you're carrying with you from your past. The same type of thing is happening with your future as if you're worried about what's gonna happen in the future. Worrying is one of the worst uses of your energy because it's only gonna fear cast and it'll only produce a negative outcome. So if you can practice staying present, being very present oriented, what's really cool about this is all of your problems tend to fade away. In fact, problems in general are a funny thing because where there's a problem, there has to be a solution. Think about it. We live in an infinite universe, and you can't have a yin without the yang. You can't have a positive without the negative. They have to simultaneously exist. So if a problem exists in your life right now, know that there is an equal or greater solution that also exists. You just might not be aware of that solution, but what's really cool is when you get very present, the solution now can be revealed to you. A pro tip to getting present is utilizing your breath. When you start to consciously control your breath, you get very present because you're being one with your body in the present moment. The present moment is a gift that you want to unwrap often. So as soon as you get present, you tend to erase whatever emotional breathing pattern is happening in your body unconsciously, and you reset back to the present moment. And you now are like a blank canvas that can move forward in your day much more effectively. Habit number 4 is around chunking, and it has to do with achieving your goals. There's a book and an idea that you might have heard of. It's How Do You Eat an Elephant? One bite at a time. Well, your goal is very similar to this. And the funniest part about a goal is it's not even about reaching the goal. The main idea of a goal is to become a person that now can achieve that goal. In other words, success is not about reaching the goal itself. It's about who we become in the process. It's so powerful. So if you can sell yourself on the idea that it's not necessarily the goal you need to reach, it's about the actions and the daily habits you need to foster in order to reach that goal. And so in other words, it's about chunking out the smaller bite-sized goals on the way towards the main goal. Because if you can reach those little goals on the way to the main goal, you're gonna reach that main goal eventually as well. So for instance, if you're trying to lose 50 pounds, let's say this year, instead of being focused on losing 50 pounds, we're gonna simply focus on the next pound or two that you have to lose, right? Because you gotta lose a couple pounds in order to lose 50 pounds, right? It's just gotta add up over time. So if you can just shift your focus though to the next 1 or 2 pounds, it gets 10 times easier, it's less overwhelming, way more doable, way more realistic, way more nearsighted. I like to use the analogy of it's like driving in a snowstorm. You can only see like 50 to 100 feet in front of you. That's exactly how we want to progress towards our goals. Being in the snowstorm, only caring and looking at the next chunk, the next day, the next week, the next 100 feet in front of you. This is super powerful by itself, but you can amplify the effect from this by rewarding yourself after you achieve every small outcome. For instance, every pound you lose, you reward yourself. Every $1,000 you save extra a month, you reward yourself. Every 5 or 10 extra smiles you put on your significant other's face or your kid's face, you reward yourself with. What I love about these habits is you can apply them in any area. Habit number 5 is moving. A body in motion stays in motion. Similarly, a body at rest stays at rest. So if you can get yourself into motion, you're going to be more productive that day. That's why exercising in the morning is one of the best habits you can create, because it'll set your body in motion for the day. And not to mention, 15 minutes of activity releases endorphins and allows you to feel more positive and euphoric. So this is a win-win, in other words. And moving is like a natural caffeine boost for your body. Because after you get your heart pumping and your lungs breathing, you get invigorated and you have a lot more energy coming out of that. So simply setting a goal of moving 10 or 15 minutes a day in the morning especially, over time, that's gonna make you like 10 times more productive. If you find that you're sitting a lot throughout the day, set a reminder to just get up and move around. Do some squats, do some jumping jacks, do some running in place, dance, whatever you wanna do, just move your body way more often throughout the day. Throughout my day, I get up all the time in between my work and recording videos, and I also exercise in addition to just moving around throughout the day as much as I can. Habit number 6 is gratitude. Having a grateful attitude is one of the best things you can foster. I put the sign up, there's always, always, always something to be grateful for. You just gotta practice looking at that more. Finding the things that you can be more grateful for. Less hateful, more grateful. It's such a beautiful way to live, and I wish the world would practice this a lot more. That's one of my goals and duties here, is to be the change I want to see in the world. So I practice this all the time. I'm grateful for my kids, my wife, my office here, my clients, this YouTube channel, my home, my pool, the abundance of oxygen and water that I get to drink all the time, my food, my groceries, everything. This is such a powerful practice. Write down 10 people and things that you're grateful for right now in your life. And then to take it a step further, actually show that person or that thing your appreciation. Let them know that you appreciate them, or just spend an extra few minutes with that thing, showing your appreciation for it. It's a powerful habit that'll change your life, I'm telling you. And last but certainly not least is habit number 7. And this is value your values more. Let me ask you a couple questions. Why do you do what you do right now? Have you really thought about this? Like, why do you get up and go to work? Or why do you get up and run your business? Why do you get up and teach or coach? Why do you get up and do what you're doing? Question 2 is very similar. What are you spending your time on throughout the day, and why? People don't even realize why they're doing what they're doing usually. They don't realize what's actually motivating them into action. And I want to teach this to you really quick. This is so powerful. At the core of why you're taking action, this is often unconscious, is your values. So on the surface, if you were to reverse engineer your life and how you're taking action and getting results, it looks like this. It starts with your thoughts first. You've got to be thinking in a certain way before you actually take action. So you're thinking, your thoughts lead you to feel a certain way. Ultimately, this happens really fast, by the way. You can think a thought, it makes you feel a certain way, and then you respond almost instantaneously for a lot of things. And then every action produces a result in your life. Well, the most powerful thoughts you have usually get developed throughout your life, and they're your values and your beliefs. Your values are at the very top though. In other words, the values you hold for yourself right now are like the laws and the undercurrent of the actions you take. So in other words, they're like your commandments and the laws you follow and abide by. And it is the undercurrent of how you show up on a regular basis. Let me give you some examples. If you value status and being the best, then you're likely a go-getter who is working your tail off to make a lot more money or to achieve a lot more or to have more of an impact. And by the way, these are not good or bad things. This is just what is, right? So there's no judgment here. If you value your status and that's super valuable to you, you care about being the best, you're very competitive, then you're likely working your tail off to accomplish something more in your life. If you value your family and having really good kids, then you're likely spending a lot of time and energy dedicating to your family and less in other areas. So this kind of goes back to that battery idea. You have a set amount of energy you can create with on a regular basis. In other words, you have basically a battery that you're using throughout each day, and it gets recharged every time you go to sleep and every time you eat healthier and you revitalize your body. Well, if you see your values for what they are, they're taking up most of your energy. You're dedicating a lot of energy to see that your values are upheld all the time. So if you're not making enough money, it might just mean that you have values in other ways, around your health, around your family, around relationships, but you're not making a lot of money because you don't value that, right? So again, this isn't good or bad. This is just what it is. So if you can start to value your values, start to discover why you're doing what you're doing, it's going to change your life forever. And if you realize that you haven't been valuing certain areas of your life, like your health, like your wealth, like your relationships, then you could simply change it. You can make a decision to start valuing this more in your life. It's that simple. I hope this video serves you amazingly well. If you did find value in it, please let me know in the comments below. And more specifically, what was your favorite part of this video? What's your biggest takeaway? And what are you most excited to implement this year? I'd love to hear. I'm going to be posting a lot more videos like this one to help you level up your life in ways that you couldn't even imagine. So stay tuned, and if you're not already subscribed to my channel, be sure you subscribe, because where we're going, you don't need roads.